Good morning and welcome to Savage Universe. I'm J-M. We normally do these on in the evenings, but we've been moving them around during the week and during times because sometimes creators need their rest at night or just have an easier time to join up here. And this morning I am very excited to chat with you. Do you want to introduce yourself and we'll get started with our discussion?
My name is Christian Merz. I have been role playing basically as long as I can remember, sometimes with rules. And I'm a constant tinkerer. And so I wanted to share what I've done, raise a little bit of money to help buy more things to get more ideas. And here we are. And
yeah. Now you are all probably, if you follow Savage Universe, if you follow the swag products, you are familiar with Christian's work because you are the author of Settingless, you are the author of Fundraiser, which are just a number of PDF products that they're design, I call them design level products because they're basically rules that take they're new setting rules, new arcane backgrounds, new ways to use the established rules in fun and interesting twists.
Home rules, homebrew brought to your table from mine.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. You said you've been role playing as long as you can remember, sometimes with rules.
Yeah.
What was your introduction into this hobby?
I believe it started my cousin, who's probably about 12 years older than I am, on my father's side. He had the Dungeons and Dragons. I think it was Basic Expert. It could have been Beck Me, and had some of the things. And of course, I've always loved little toys and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome. My father was a really good guy that way. He went out and bought those from probably KB or
yeah.
And they weren't ours because he had them, but then we wound up looking through them and didn't understand a lick of anything, and kind of just muddled through and played. And we watched the Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
We were into that, like kind of started there, and went through a little bit of Palladium, but I'm not hugely fond of the clunkiness of their system.
Well, I was going to say, like my introduction to role playing games was somebody gave me in 5th grade a Heroes Unlimited book, and I read it cover to cover multiple times, and I knew how to make a character. But it wasn't until like 2 or 3 years later when I played my first role-playing game, which was GURPS of all things, that I suddenly went, wait,
a bit clunky.
That thing I have at home is a game. It's not just for making superheroes and then having them fight and then, writing up the battles as if you were writing up a comic. Okay. This is actually like, I needed that connection, if that makes sense.
There definitely is a folk element where it has to be passed on, like around dinner tables or campfires.
Yeah.
And a lot. And, for anybody who's young, you have the internet. You've been soaking in it. It's kind of geek chic. I think that's kind of waning a little bit. But when we were kids, that was not a cool thing.
No, you had to learn from somebody else. But now you can... If you want to learn Savage Worlds, you can watch a Pinnacle stream. You can go watch one of my streams where I do, Horror at Headstone Hill. You can watch one of the Knights of the Smith dinner table. They run, Altered Morality every week. You can see how this thing is done. We didn't have that option. Like, you either did the best you could or you were brought into it, kind of initiated with someone else who was like, let's go play this game. I'll teach you how it works.
Yeah, initiated is the perfect way of putting it.
Now, when did you encounter Savage Worlds first, and why did it? Obviously you've been writing prolifically for it. So, what grabs you about Savage Worlds?
So I came into Savage Worlds relatively late. It was a little bit before the Black Edition came out. Venture. Like, okay. I remember right before that was coming out, probably about a year, I had picked up the deluxe book and was flipping through it. But I started with Pinnacle. I loved Deadlands. Played that at the end of college. I played with a lot of women, and so World of Darkness was a big thing. Vampire, a little bit of werewolf, throw in just a touch of Wraith. Actually, like Wraith came into our vampire.
Yeah.
And
no mage though, because like mage the Ascension is my World of Darkness game. That was
it doesn't I've always wanted to be the monsters.
Okay, there you go. That's
mage
fair.
is a little too freeform and a little too theoretical for me.
All right, totally fair. All right, so you were playing World of Darkness.
Yeah, so we moved over. Actually, it was kind of like almost like commencement week. We started a little bit before, and we played like every day that week when we weren't doing something else, and some whiskey and Deadlands, and fell in love with it. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And then I saw that Savage Worlds came out, and they're like, this is a faster, easier version. And I'm like, I don't know if I need that. But then life gets complicated. You know, things move on. And I had never gone into newer D&D past 3.5. And that was just getting really cumbersome, just maintaining it. And so I started looking at like, oh, can we take this and modify some of the things in Savage Worlds?
Yeah.
Because it seems like it plays easy to set up. I like the pulp aspect in the sense that, what is the saying? Like a villager with a pitchfork can take down, a dragon type of situation where nobody's safe. I got with D&D where it's like, okay, I have 100 hit points before I have to worry. And I like,
it doesn't matter how powerful you get, 3 wounds and
yeah. And they come quick.
Yeah.
So
what was the impetus between moving from playing and running Savage Worlds to designing the stuff for the swag license?
Kind of when it when Adventure Edition came out and they announced it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, let's see what it is. And at the time I had gotten into not printing 3D, but our library had an excellent program where you could submit things, and so I would play in Tinkercad, build some things, some stuff simple. So I started with that. I had reached out to Shane and some people and said, can this, it doesn't explicitly say, is this something that I could try? And that never really went anywhere. And as I explained to somebody one time, it's like, you're talking about 3 levels down in a niche. So you have to get role players, pretty small niche. Savage World role players, really small niche. Now people who can print their own 3D image, objects. Yeah. So that never really went anywhere. And then I was like, oh, I have some ideas. Let me put down some of my house rules, see what other people think. And that's what kind of grew out with Settingless. And now it's becoming a little bit of a line. I started more martial options, which is just, I had seen that there were certain special combat options that didn't have an edge associated with it. So I wanted to fill in that gap. And then just recently released more martial options, which filled in. I noticed because of martial flexibility, Warrior's Gift, if you get a raise, you can get like the improved version. There's a bunch that don't have improved versions. So I created improved versions of some of the edges off of ones that I made, but also ones that are in the core and a little bit into the particularly the Fantasy Companion.
Awesome. Well, I just put the link to more martial options, Edges for Combat and Beyond, into the chat. You can follow that link. That'll take you to that products page. And when we play Savage Pathfinder, I always play the fighter because I love that ability to just be like, what's the edge that I need for this moment? I may not ever pick it like as an advancement, but like in this one fight, it's so situationally good that I want to, and I like having more options for that. So
even high adventure, as a what do you call it? Setting rule that you spend a penny get used to this, because sometimes when the Joker comes up, nobody wants to take Joker edges unless that's your build, and even that, like when we've played, nobody goes down the Joker edge route. And but if you have Warrior's Gift or something, boom, like bang, or
that is a really good point that I have never thought of taking the double damage edge if I get a Joker on my first or second round in my Savage Pathfinder game, and then being like, well, now I've got double damage for this one round. Perfect. Good morning, Alan. So you also put out, so that one's just released, and then you also put out Settingless 6, more arcane setting rules. So what is available in this one?
So they're just little tweaks here and there to modify the different rules that you have within, taking and amping up or most of the time settling down. Because I feel with arcane backgrounds, they can I don't know if I would say broken, but they definitely change the tenor of the game. Mm-hmm. And for throwing back to more classical D&D style, I have threatened casting, which allows attacks of opportunity, the free attack option, right, which is normally for withdrawing if you're trying to cast, because it's pretty complex. So I don't remember if it's this one or in the Settingless 3, which also is arcane options. Or the arcane setting rules. Yeah, had like a disruption, bringing back disruption into the modern in Adventure Edition.
So that's one of the things I really like about the Settingless. If you are a swag or an ace designer or aspiring game designer in Savage Worlds, you owe it to yourself to go check these out, because like I said at the beginning, these are design level products. And what I mean by that is they're setting rules. They're totally usable. You're going to love having these options at your table, but they're also designed with an eye in mind for how can I tweak or add to flesh out what's already there. And what I love about these is products like this get my brain moving in new directions. And so if I'm sitting down to write a new supplement, if I'm sitting down to write an adventure or a setting, products like these open up doors that I would never have thought of. And maybe your setting rule is a reaction to one of the ones that you've seen. You're like, well, I wouldn't do it that way, but I would definitely, I could do it this way. Or, ooh, I like that. Let me tweak it a little bit more for my table or my product. And yeah, so I appreciate you sharing all of these. It feels very much like a spaghetti product where throw it against the wall and see what sticks for you in your game.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely this sense of do different things. And in one genre, it makes perfect sense to do something one way, and in another genre, you never think about that. High fantasy versus low fantasy, modern, urban, you said, mage. Do you want to create something that gives that, what was it? When you had the feedback from
the paradox.
Thank you. Yeah. Like create like more of backlash. Like, do you want backlash to happen a lot? Do you want people to, Warhammer Fantasy or DCC style, like, okay, I'm going to use magic and I'm a nuclear bomb, but that means there's going to be fallout.
There's fallout, and I'm going to be corrupted.
Often on me.
Yeah, exactly. It's my favorite. It's burned into my mind from the DCC core book, where it's like, here's how a mage progresses, and it's not them getting more powerful; it's them getting more mutated as the time goes on. All right, so John Doom had a question that said, what would you say your bestseller so far has been?
Oh, my bestseller so far is the Settingless, in part, seem to be up there. I have not hit gold with anything yet, but I'm getting close with Settingless. I think it's 2 and one of the other ones. My personal favorite, which is in its own line, is called Allies Enhanced. Which is basically takes the extras and lets you, as an NPC, build them a little bit stronger. And it started out of we were doing the original Rippers adventure, and it was a side quest that kind of a schleppy wannabe hunter that they came across when they weren't even doing a hunt. They were on a return, and they saw a werewolf attacking this group that was hunting it. And he was the sole survivor of a group of like 5 or 6 guys. And they took him in, and his name's Horrence. And he became like the mascot / like he was the driver because no one wanted to spend points on driving. And, so we were like, oh, let's advance him a little bit. Let's do things where you can, you take an edge, he gets resilience. In the same way, but that was on him as opposed to on the players taking edges. So it was letting them advance. And so there's some rules for that. And I really like the allied personality, which is in the book, but I expanded it out to a card draw. And that was, I think it was one of the first, the quadruple F February thing. Fast Furious February. Yeah. And I put that together and made like a little chart. So you draw a card for your extra, it gives you personality, and then it either gives you a hindrance and you get like a point for it if it's a major or minor, or you get just a free edge, or in some cases like some other kind of little Benny. Nice. But it gives you a character trait to riff off of. Awesome. And so there's 54 of them because it's based on the cards.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you're on Settingless 6. You've done 2 martial martial options. You've got the allies. You've got several other products. What's next? Like, is there something on the horizon that we can look forward to?
So just before I forget, right now, both of these new products are in pre-layout, or before they're being laid out. I work with Jetty, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Fella, very visually interesting and awesome design that he does. Very helpful, very, very excellent to work with.
Yeah.
Manuel of Veiled Fury, he had done a review of, I think, Allies Enhanced, and he was like, I like it, but it's just basic layout. And so I don't know if it was that, or that Jetty had reached out to me and was like, hey, I can work with you and make them look fancy. So right now the Settingless 6 and the more martial options are like half price because they're in that pre-layout, and probably in a week or two, hopefully I'll update them into the final layout, and so the prices will go up.
So get them now.
Yeah,
get in while they're cheap.
And that I had put on when I put out some media blasts and things like that. I am working on a martial options, which is to expand some edges for martial. Arcane options for arcane backgrounds. I have another project that I don't want to talk about just yet.
Holy fair.
It has to deal with expanding powers. I'll just say that the working title for the line is The Wizard Spellbook.
Nice.
So,
all right. Well, when the Wizard Spellbook is ready, let me know and we'll have you back on Savage Universe.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a lot bigger than anything that I've worked on so far. So I might start with some small things.
Very cool.
To build up to it.
Christian, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I know it's early, especially for Valentine. So go back to sleep, Valentine. You've got about 35 minutes until Behind the Screen starts. So get a little nap in.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Crypt Right responded. He's like, he's going to try and release a spell book too soon. What a quinky-dink. We should have you guys on. We can have a Wizards duel.
I love it. Spell duel, like
Spell duel,
going back
yeah.
to DCC.
That's right, exactly. Well, all right, everybody, that's it for today. We will have a Savage Universe next week at a more normal time. We'll make sure it gets in the newsletter, so keep an eye out on that. Until next time, go out and may all your dice ace, and go play some Savage Worlds. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, take care. Thank you, everyone.